I'm good. How you doing, sir?
Good, good. So we are at the LZ Invitational, and Nick here, for whatever reason, trailered his amazing S15 build all the way from Canada. What part of Canada?
Windsor, Ontario, so like Detroit border, basically. So it's like a 20-hour drive.
Just to come to the LZ Invitational.
Yeah, yep. Get some sun, you know. We don't have this in Canada right now. So.
Okay, right now, it's hot.
Yeah.
It's warm. I don't know how warm, but it's warm. How cold is it in Ontario?
I don't know. I think it was like, I know Celsius, so it was like 0, I think, so pretty cold.
Huh. Well, I want to talk to you about your
Absolutely.
S15 convertible.
Yeah.
So this is known as a Varietta?
Varietta, yeah.
So I have a kind of a fun story about S15s, specifically the Varietta. First ever right-hand drive car I've ever driven was in Norway at Gatbil. It was a blue one.
That's crazy.
It was a Varietta. I didn't understand at the time how rare they are and how special they are.
Yep.
And one day I hope to own one. This one's actually a Canadian one that you actually imported from Japan.
From Japan, yeah. So they made 1,143 of these. This was a blue one, which is like the most common, and then they only sold them in Japan. So I imported it. Actually had my buddy import it for me. Yeah, 3 years ago I got it. So.
What's the story behind the Varietta? Because I've actually owned a S13 convertible.
Okay.
And I know those were converted aftermarket.
Right, it was similar. So this is Autech. You've heard of like all the Autech cars, right? Like R33 GTR 4-door, right? They made like an Autech. So they took Spec S, S15 regular, and then Autech took them, cut the roof off, did the whole, so from what I understand, the quarters are different, and then the trunk, and then obviously the roof panel and stuff like that. So everything else, yeah.
So this is modified.
So this, I believe they just take the S15 like coupe ones off and then put these on because they're like all like spot welded like factory. Like you can't tell it's been cut apart. And yeah, then just a huge trunk to fit the roof in there. And then they sold them like that.
So it's the Autech version. They have a normal coupe Autech version too, right?
Yeah.
And that's a NA?
It's an NA, and then it has like a little bit like headers and stuff like that. This doesn't have that. It's just SR20DE, just stock, completely Nissan.
It's kind of interesting how Nissan decides to have Autech do certain things, right? So one of the things that a lot of people may not know is the Z33 Nismo 350Z is an Autech built car, right? So that is like stitch welded from the factory, and there's all these modifications from Autech versus the Z34 was not.
Right, okay.
But it's interesting also just for me to see such a rare car here in the States.
Yeah.
And this is actually not federally legal yet.
Right.
In the States.
Right, because it's 99. So.
Right, but you guys are able to import it
so
10 years earlier.
Yeah, in Canada it's 15 years, right? And then here I believe it's 25. So yeah, we have a lot of like Skylines and Silvias and stuff like that over there. So this is the only one. So I'm from Ontario, Canada. I believe there might be like 1 or 2 more in like the province, which is a pretty big place. But yeah, it's the only one I've ever seen in person was when it showed up on a trailer after I bought it.
So what made you want to build this?
Honestly, I've always liked how they looked. When I was growing up playing Gran Turismo and stuff, for some reason, this is in Gran Turismo, like 4 or 3. And there's really no reason for it, but I just always thought they looked cool. I always wanted one, and I had an S14, and I was selling that to actually buy an R34 sedan, and then this popped up, so we jumped on this instead, and I love it. Like, it's so different, right?
So then what have you done to it since you've owned it?
Okay, so I got it 3 years ago. First year was just getting the top functioning because it didn't work when I bought it. So I got that all going, and then basically just piecing things here and there together. And then this last year, so like 12 months ago, I started with the bodywork. I stripped it to bare steel and basically patched a couple little things here and there. And then just in my garage, basically did all of this to this point. I actually just finished it like last week, just like kind of for this, so.
So did you paint it in your garage?
So there's a lot of steps with a paint job like this, right? So there's actually like 7 coats of clear coat on it. So the first initial part I did in the garage, and then the final clear, I work at a body shop, a restoration shop, and then I did it at work. But the majority of the work was actually done in my garage.
It looks great. It looks really, really good.
I appreciate that.
So what is the kit? I think before we started rolling, you were saying you pieced a bunch of stuff together.
The front bumper is actually, it's called Stage 21, and it has a big, massive kind of like canard thing here and whatever. So I changed that, just kind of made it smooth, kind of flow into the side skirts better. The side skirts, I believe they're a rep of like an S15 Nismo style, and then the rear is Y-square, is the Y-square diffuser. So it's all pieced together, but I think it goes together pretty well.
I think it looks great. I mean, it's because it's one of those things where I guess it doesn't really matter. If you could get any kit and it would pretty much fit on the convertible.
Yeah, it's the whole body is the exact same, right? So bumpers, side skirts, all that, hood, whole front end fenders, everything's the same, just they cut the roof off and then the trunk part is different. So that spoiler, I actually custom made that because they don't make a spoiler for a Varietta, just because they only made 1,100 of them, right? So.
Right, oh, I see what you mean. But it has a stock spoiler.
No,
right? Or it doesn't?
No, Varietta doesn't have a spoiler. Yeah.
It's just
like round. It looks kind of goofy. So I kind of added that. This is from, I believe it's like a D-Max rep. It was from a regular S15. And I cut the whole bottom out and basically made a new base for it.
Right, because this, it's not like this on the...
No, yeah, the regular ones, the quarters are actually wide at the top, and then there's like a trunk. Kind of just like the S13 style like that, right?
Right.
So this is the entire back end of the car. It's super wide, right, the trunk?
Got it.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, so the trunk
So this doesn't
wraps.
have a trunk at all?
It does, like...
Well, let me see the top go up, because I've actually never seen the top go up.
Okay.
This is pretty cool. So is it electric or is it hydraulic? Or
yeah, no, it's all electric. It's actually power window motors, which is kind of scary. So from the factory, they have this button here, and you're supposed to just hit that once and it does all this stuff. But when I bought the car, the ECU that controls it all was fried, and there's a bunch of sensors, so I bypassed it all. So now I just have like switches here.
Okay.
I do it all with here.
Yo. So cool.
Yeah,
So then in order to access the trunk, you have to kind of do like a midway or?
now you can get into the trunk. I'll show you. It's all got like a full interior. It's actually kind of cool because it's not S15 regular, right? So the only way to open it is with this.
Whoa, it opens this way too?
Yeah, yeah. So it's got like a double latch there, so they'll latch in there, and then once it's latched, you can unlock it from this way. And then it's all...
So, what is this? This is part of it?
Yeah, so this is from the factory. It's supposed to Velcro up here. And then that's like your limit of stuff you can put in the trunk and the roof. So you can put stuff underneath that, and then that's your whole trunk, because the roof literally fills the entire trunk.
Oh, I get it. Okay,
Yep.
So if it is up, you could use this whole thing.
Yep.
And it even comes with like a little light.
Yep.
It's like kind of finished.
Yep.
And this is interesting because this is all one-off stuff that only exists on the Varietta.
Yeah, so luckily it was all there, and...
So then, okay, so you could put stuff under here and there's just enough of a gap?
Yeah, so that's...
If the roof is down.
Yeah, so you have a little bit of space.
But then, you can only reach it if the roof is up.
Right, yeah, you gotta put the roof, because it's under your roof, right? So you have to do the whole like sequence. Yeah, it's
Put it down, I just want to see the shape of it. It looks pretty interesting. It looks unlike anything.
Yeah, it's got a big trunk. A lot of people don't like them because it's disproportionate, right? So it's just got a massive trunk, and I'll show you when I put the roof back in, but it literally, the roof is the entire trunk area. It fills it completely.
Well, the thing to me is, it's not supposed to look like this. I mean, you're not supposed to run it with it like this.
Right.
I feel like it just looks way better with it all tucked away.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, because the weird thing about the S13 convertible is that it was a cloth top, but in order to hide all that stuff, you had to put a cap on it.
Right.
And they basically don't exist anymore,
Yeah,
you know, because it was something that was just lost over time.
Super hard to find.
But this is, it's so interesting. I've never seen one up close, and I've never seen the top up. It looks pretty cool. All right, so let's just put it down again so we can kind of check out the interior a little bit.
Sure.
Is it me, or does the interior look a little purple?
No, it should be.
Oh, it's just a little blue.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's all regular S15 stuff. The back seat situation is a little bit different. And
also, did it come manual?
Yeah, so this is a factory manual. And I don't know the exact numbers, you can find them, but they were like a very small percentage of these. They were mainly automatic, and they were all NA, so.
Are you eventually going to go turbo?
I would like to swap it. Yeah, I said I just finished the outside, so that's all right.
Yeah, let me, I'm just so curious about this. This is just so, the mechanism is interesting.
Yeah,
It's just so old school.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I get a little nervous every time I use it.
Okay.
So that's that.
So then, like, this is all custom too. Obviously, they had to do this.
That's all one-off.
Because on the coupe, it's just all solid.
Yeah, it's like a molded window, right, with the rubber around it and everything. So this whole molding is completely different. There's quarter windows too.
Yeah, that actually go up and down. Yep.
So that's pretty cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, so if any of that breaks, it's like, good luck.
And is it on air suspension?
No, it's static. It's on coilovers.
It's static and it's like this?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's so close.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I have to take the whole body kit and everything off to get in the trailer.
Can we take a look under the hood?
We can. I mean, it's extremely dirty and it's just completely stock.
It's okay. It's stock. Even though it's stock, it's something I've never seen before.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty awful. I ran out of time, basically.
Do you know from the factory if this is like a higher revving motor or anything like that?
So Autech didn't make that special version. This is just the regular SR20D. It's just completely, yeah. It was more of like a luxury car than a sports car. So they didn't really do anything in here.
But it's interesting, it has a notch back valve cover.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah.
That is so crazy.
Yeah,
you still have the stock airbox,
everything,
too?
yeah, it's completely
This is the rarest part of your whole...
Yeah.
I feel like I've never seen one
It's the first
before.
thing that gets chucked in the trash, but...
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, so my plan is like next year, drop the subframe motor and stuff, do the engine bay, make it kind of match the outside. And I would like to either DET swap it or just like add a turbo and stuff. But one thing at a time.
Yeah, one thing. I'm glad you made it out. This is so
me
cool.
too.
What an interesting thing. So did you have to restore anything on the interior or?
I want to. The center console is a little bit messed up, but like all of this, I basically just cleaned it all up. So the door panels, like everything's pretty mint. The dash is really good. The rear seats, they're S15, but they're like really straight up and down. So I think that they changed something with that. Because I don't think it's that narrow in a regular S15. I've never been in one, but.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
And is this, so these aren't stock then?
Yeah, those are stock seats.
Then why is it leather here and why is it cloth
I
here?
have no idea. I don't know. They might not be, I don't know, might have came with leather, somebody took them out, wanted them maybe. But they're just regular S15 seats.
So
as far
cool.
as I know.
Just the shape of it from the side is incredible.
Yeah, I love it. I really do like it, so.
So last thing, sorry to bug you.
No, that's no problem.
This is just, it's one of those cars that it's not the wildest car.
Right.
You know, it's not like it makes 1,000 horsepower or whatever,
Right.
but this is so special.
Yeah.
And it's cool that you've kind of taken it upon yourself to restore it your way and enjoy it.
Right.
I think that's super cool. So, like, tell me about the wheel and tire combo.
So they're just regular, I think version 1 Wed Serbs. They're 17 by 10 plus 10 all the way around. So I had to like roll the fenders pretty good and bump the quarters out quite a bit to give the fit. It's kind of aggressive, but yeah, they're just, I like chrome.
The fitment is great.
Yeah, I worked pretty hard to get it to like fit really good. So I basically made the car fit the wheels and then bodyworked the car around the wheels.
It helps that you work at a body shop.
Yeah, yeah.
So, are you able to drive this even on the street in this way?
I haven't yet because I literally just got done and it's like winter in Canada, right? So my driveway is probably the worst thing that I have to get through. So I might have to like take the front bumper off to get it out of the driveway, but then the roads aren't terrible if you like pick and choose your route and whatever, but.
I think you should go for a cruise here in Florida before you go
I think that
home.
would be cool as well. I brought my plate just in case.
It's like driving around in the summertime.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it would be really cool. I thought about it for sure.
I mean, the weather is perfect here today.
I know,
so
this is
it just looks
top-down
so
weather,
cool.
yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for showing us this build.
No problem. I appreciate it.
What a cool build.
Thank you.
All right, bye. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to support us directly, go to larrychenprints.com. I print and sign every single one of these. This is the perfect gift, or it's the perfect piece of art for your wall.